Most gardeners look at their beds in July and think the growing season has peaked. The spring rush is over, the early bloomers are fading, and it feels like all that is left to do is water what remains and wait for autumn. That assumption hands back 12 weeks of potential color, fragrance, and life. Welcome back to Cultivale. July is one of the most powerful sowing windows of the entire year, and today I am showing you 11 flowers you can sow right now for a high-definition fall garden that rivals anything you had in May. I have one plant later in this video that replenishes its nectar every 2 minutes. Stay with me, let's go.
Before we get into the list, 3 rules that are non-negotiable for July sowing, and they're different from your spring routine. 1. Keep the soil lean. Resist the urge to dump compost or fertilizer into every bed. Most of these flowers evolved in meadows and dry hillsides. Rich soil tells them to grow leaves. Lean soil tells them to make flowers. You want flowers. 2. Keep the surface moist. These plants are drought tolerant once established, but during germination, that top inch of soil must stay consistently moist until the first green sprouts appear. Non-negotiable. 3. Don't bury the seeds. Deeper is not safer. Burying seeds too deep is the #1 cause of July sowing failure. Unless I tell you otherwise, the rule is a 1/4 inch, barely covered. Some need to be pressed right onto the surface with nothing on top at all. Keep those 3 rules in your head. Now, let's talk plants.
Plant number 1, Zinnia. Zinnia elegans. If you only have time to sow one thing this month, make it the Zinnia. Hardy as a heat-loving annual across zones 2 through 11, zinnias behave completely differently in July soil than they do in April. In cool spring ground, the seeds sit in a sluggish holding pattern. In warm July soil, they germinate in 4 to 5 days. The heat is a biological green light. For compact, mounding cushions of color that require almost no deadheading, look for the Profusion series, Profusion Fire or Profusion Orange. If you want large-scale, velvety cut flowers for the table, the Benary's Giant series in coral, wine, or scarlet produces spectacular 4 to 5 inch blooms that look almost artificial. They are so vivid. Pro tip: thin Profusion types to 12 inches apart and giants to 18 inches. This is not optional. Crowded zinnias are a direct invitation to powdery mildew, the #1 threat to late-season plants. And avoid nitrogen-rich fertilizers entirely. Too much nitrogen does not just cause floppy growth, it actively invites the mildew that will ruin your fall display.
Plant number 2, Cosmos. Cosmos bipinnatus.
Cosmos is the plant that rewards intentional neglect, and once you understand why, you will never fertilize it again. Hardy as a self-seeding annual across zones 2 through 11, Cosmos evolved in the dry scrublands of Mexico. Rich soil triggers vegetative growth. You will get a 5-foot green bush and 0 flowers. Lean soil is the trigger for blooming. The plant essentially needs to believe it is in a difficult environment before it commits to reproduction. For classic airy heights, the Sensation series is the benchmark. For containers, the Sonata series stays compact and tidy. And for a truly sophisticated fall palette, look for Rubenza, a deep, extraordinary ruby red that genuinely glows in the low autumn light. There is nothing else quite like it in the late garden. Pro tip: direct sow and thin to about 12 inches. Once established, step back completely. No supplemental water, no fertilizer. The more you ignore Cosmos, the more it blooms. If it is struggling, the almost certain cause is soil that is too rich or too wet. Plant number 3, Sunflower. Helianthus annuus. The belief that sunflowers are a spring-only crop costs gardeners some of the most dramatic late-season color available. A July-sown sunflower skips the slow spring establishment phase entirely and hits the ground running in warm soil. Hardy as annuals across zones 2 through 11 focus on fast-maturing varieties that reach peak in 55 to 70 days. Autumn Beauty is a multi-branching variety that produces a tapestry of bronze, gold, and russet. Not one flower, but dozens. The Pro Cut series and Sun-Rich Lemon are perfect for single-stemmed, florist-quality harvests through September and October. Pro tip: fresh sunflower seeds are irresistible to squirrels. Cover your sowing area with a lightweight row cover or a simple window screen for the first 10 days until the seeds are established. And sow these deeper than everything else on this list, about 1 inch down. Sunflowers are one of the few July-sown plants that genuinely benefit from extra depth.
Plant number 4, French Marigold, Tagetes patula. Skip the large African marigold types in July. They take too long to mature. French marigolds are the correct tool for this window, blooming in as little as 50 days from seed. Hardy as annuals across zones 2 through 11, look for the Bonanza series or the heat-tolerant Aurora series in vibrant oranges and yellows. But here is what makes French marigolds more than just pretty. The roots produce a compound called alpha-terthene, a natural nematicide that actively suppresses harmful root knot nematodes in your soil. And the pungent foliage scent acts as a biological shield, deterring aphids and whiteflies from nearby plants. Pro tip: plant French marigolds near your late-season kale or tomatoes. You're getting bold fall color and free living pest control from the same plant. Sow at a 1/4 inch depth and thin to about 9 inches. Deadhead spent blooms consistently, and they will keep producing right through the first light frosts.
Plant number 5, Nasturtium, Tropaeolum majus. Nasturtium is the plant for those hot, dry spots that defeat most other things, and it earns its space in both the garden and the kitchen simultaneously. Hardy as annuals across zones 2 through 11, nasturtiums speak the language of scarcity. Rich, moist soil produces a canopy of leaves with flowers hidden beneath them. Lean, dry soil produces a plant covered edge to edge in vibrant blooms in orange, red, yellow, and cream. The flowers have a peppery, slightly sweet flavor, perfect in salads. The leaves provide a crisp, watercress-like bite, and the seed pods can be pickled to create a genuinely excellent poor man's caper. For variety, Jewel stays compact, Alaska has beautiful variegated foliage, and the trailing Spitfire works beautifully cascading over walls or containers. Pro tip: sow directly where you want the plants to grow. Nasturtiums resent transplanting. Direct sow at a 1/4 inch depth and thin to about 12 inches. And embrace the dry spot in your garden for these. The worse the soil, the better the flowers. That difficult corner you have given up on? Nasturtiums will own it.
Plant number 6, Calendula, Calendula officinalis. Calendula is the bridge between summer's heat and autumn's coolness, and it uses both to its advantage in a way that no other plant on this list does. Hardy as annuals across zones 2 through 11, the warm July soil drives lightning-fast germination, 5 to 10 days. And then, as autumn temperatures drop and cool, the flowering intensifies rather than slowing down. The cooler it gets, the more vivid and prolific the blooms become. This is a plant that actually improves as the season progresses. For medicinal use in skin salves, Ricina is the gold standard. It has the highest resin content of any calendula variety. For pure aesthetics, Indian Prince is extraordinary. Deep orange petals with a chocolate-colored center that is visually unlike anything else in the fall garden. Pro tip: the sticky resin on calendula stems is not just a feature, it is functional. It acts like living fly paper, physically trapping aphids and whiteflies before they can reach your vegetables. Position calendula near your fall crops and it works as a trap crop around the clock. Sow at a 1/4 inch depth and keep consistently moist until germination.
Plant number 7, Sweet Alyssum, Lobularia marittima. Sweet Alyssum sown in July is what I call a preloading strategy, and the result in September is one of the most sensory-rich moments in the autumn garden. Hardy as annuals across zones 2 through 9, it establishes a sturdy root system in the summer heat and then explodes into a fragrant carpet once September arrives. That honeyed scent hangs heavy on the late September air in a way that stops people mid-stride. After months of summer heat, it is a genuinely surprising and beautiful reminder that the season is still very much alive. Light is essential for germination. Do not cover these seeds with soil. Broadcast them across the surface and press them lightly with your palm. That is all. Carpet of snow in pure white is the classic choice. Wonderland Rose offers heat tolerance with a warm blush tone. Pro tip: Sweet Alyssum flowers are a primary nectar source for parasitic wasps and hoverflies, the beneficial insects that prey on the garden pests you most want to eliminate. By sowing now, you're not just adding fragrance to the autumn garden. You're activating a biological pest control network that runs itself through the entire fall season.
Plant number 8, Borage, Borago officinalis. Here is the plant I promised you at the start. Borage replenishes the nectar in each individual flower every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes! That is not a metaphor for being bee-friendly. It is a literal, documented biological mechanism that makes borage an essentially permanent open sign for every pollinator in the neighborhood. Hardy as annuals across zones 2 through 11, this Mediterranean native thrives on restraint. Once established in July, it becomes functionally indifferent to drought and heat. Those flowers, true blue, one of the rarest colors in the plant world, are also fully edible with a cool, mild cucumber flavor that is refreshing floated in water or ice cubes. The young leaves make a crisp addition to summer salads. Pro tip: sow half an inch deep, deeper than most on this list, and thin to 18 inches. That spacing is important for the air circulation that prevents mildew on the large leaves. And look for the variety Alba for white flowers or Bill Archer for a classic deep blue. Once borage self-seeds in your garden, it tends to return reliably year after year with zero effort from you.
Plant number 9, California Poppy, Escholzia californica. California Poppy does not need your management. It needs your permission. Hardy as self-seeding annuals across zones 3 through 10, these form a deep taproot almost immediately after germination, which means they despise transplanting. You must sow directly where you want them to bloom, and then step back completely. Once they are in the ground, they are essentially self-managing. The financial reality of this plant is extraordinary. One mature California poppy produces enough seeds to sow a 50-foot bed the following year. This is a buy-once plant in the most literal sense. For variety, the Thai Silk series offers beautiful double flowers in apricot, rose, and red. Purple gleam is luminous in the low autumn light. Pro tip: like Sweet Alyssum, California poppies require light to germinate. Do not cover them. Press the seeds gently onto the surface and keep moist until germination. And lean soil is essential. Rich, moist ground produces lush foliage and almost no flowers. The dry, difficult spots in your garden are exactly where California poppies want to be.
Plant number 10, Bachelor's Button, Centaurea cyanus. Reliable blue is one of the rarest things in a garden, and bachelor's buttons deliver it in September and October when almost nothing else does. Hardy as cool season annuals across zones 2 through 11, they are among the most cold-tolerant annuals available, handling light frosts in zones 3 through 5 without flinching. A July sowing ensures a steady supply of that elusive, saturated blue right through the end of the season, exactly when the garden most needs a cool color to balance all those warm autumn tones. Blue Boy is the classic choice for tall stems ideal for cutting. And for something more dramatic, Black Ball,
A deep, moody maroon that is genuinely striking is one of the most unusual bachelor's button varieties available. Pro tip: deadhead consistently and without mercy. If bachelor's buttons are allowed to set seed, they shut down flower production immediately. The more aggressively you cut them, the more they bloom. This is one plant where the scissors are the single most important tool in your kit. Sow at a 1/4 inch depth and thin to about 9 inches for the best stem length and flower count.
Plant number 11, larkspur, Consolida ajacis. Larkspur closes this list because it requires the most strategic thinking and delivers the most dramatic reward for gardeners willing to play the long game. Larkspur seeds germinate best after cool, moist stratification. Sowing in late July allows the natural seasonal conditions to do that work for you automatically. In zones 6 through 9, the seeds germinate in fall, and the seedlings overwinter as resilient little plants, delivering spectacular early spring blooms before most of the garden wakes up. In zones 3 through 5, you are making a strategic investment, sowing now for fall germination, with the payoff arriving as stunning, spire-like flowers the following early summer. Look for the giant Imperial series for maximum height and drama, or Cloudy Skies for a soft lavender mixture that is genuinely romantic in the early season border. Pro tip: sow larkspur on the surface. These seeds are highly sensitive to being buried and will not germinate in the dark. Press them gently into the soil, but do not cover them. And direct sow only. Larkspur resents root disturbance as strongly as California poppy. Choose your spot thoughtfully, sow once, and let the plant decide where it wants to expand in subsequent seasons. Before you close this video, here is the final checklist that determines whether your July sowing succeeds or fails. Keep the top inch of soil consistently moist from the moment you sow until you see green. No exceptions. Stick to a 1/4 inch depth or surface sowing for everything except sunflowers and borage. Thin ruthlessly. Crowded plants invite disease and produce weak growth. Skip fertilizer for almost everything here. Lean soil is the secret to a high flower count. And trust the process. July soil is a biological trigger. The heat does the heavy lifting. Let it. Your fall garden does not have to be a faded relic of spring. It can be a vibrant, buzzing, fragrant masterpiece. Start this weekend with 3: zinnias for immediate color, borage for the bees, and nasturtiums for your kitchen table. Drop in the comments which one you were sowing first. Like the video if this changed how you see July in the garden. And subscribe to Cultivel for more content on making every single month of the growing season count. I'll see you in the next one. Happy growing, everyone!